Join me on a journey to embrace your Kavela life. Starting in child's pose. Let the arms extend out in front, extended child's pose. Maybe take the knees a little wider. Just take a moment here to notice any tension in the body. Or maybe in the mind, if something is weighing on your mind, just give yourself permission to let it go. Bring all your awareness to the breath. And let's take those hands and start to walk them over to the right, just coming into a gentle side body stretch. Walking both palms off the mat. Maybe that left palm comes on top of the right. Feel that stretch all the way along that left side. Deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. Let's walk those hands back through center. Take it over to the opposite side, left side of the mat. Right palm on top of the left palm if you can. Feeling a little deeper stretch along that right side body. Deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. And come back to center, walking those palms back in. From here, inhale, float up to tabletop. And just get that alignment, stacking the shoulders over the wrists. Just gonna take some hip circles here. So let those hips start to circle over to the right and then down towards the heels and then around back towards the left. So just maybe taking 4 to 5 circles to the right and then over to the left. Maybe start to move the upper body as well, move the head, just kind of loosening up everything here. Getting a little wrist stretch in as well. Waking up those hips, the glutes. And then when you're ready, just make your way back to a neutral position in your tabletop. Find that alignment again, and let's just take a couple of cat-cows. So warming up that spine, tuck the toes, lift the chest, exhale round into cat. Inhale. Let the belly fall. Exhale round. Draw the navel in. Inhale. Exhale. And just come back to that natural, neutral spine. From here, we're going to come into our melting heart. So maybe start to move slightly towards the back of your mat if you need to. And then keeping the hips over the knees, let's walk those palms forward. So focusing here on the shoulders, the upper back, the chest. Walk those palms as far as you can, keeping the hips over the knees. And slowly let that heart, chest melt down towards the ground. Maybe the forehead touches resting here. And just think about letting that chest go closer. Feel the sensations, the opening in the shoulders, the upper back, maybe the arms, the armpits. And just breathing here. Couple more breaths here before we release. So from here, we're going to release and come into our Sphinx pose. So let those hips drop, coming forward onto the belly. Let the chest come all the way down. The legs are wider, maybe mat's width. Let those arms come out in front first, and then walk the elbows underneath the shoulders. Taking any weight out of the arms, the forearms, the palms. Most of the weight is in the pelvis area and naturally in the elbows, but try to mentally shift any pressure that you have in the upper body to the lower body. Bringing your awareness to the lower back. Relax the shoulders. And keep the gaze straight ahead or close the eyes here. Relax the glutes, the muscles in the legs. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the nose, staying connected to that breath. Finding that edge reach that point of resistance, and then just holding and breathing. Taking a couple more breaths here. Maybe think about puffing that chest, lifting through the crown. Push the breath to the lower back. Slowly, let's release, lowering the chest all the way down. Slide those palms outside the chest, elbows to the sky. Press into the palms. Slowly make your way all the way back to your extended child's pose. Just stretch out the lower back here. Let that forehead touch. Inhale from here, float up to tabletop. We'll walk the knees in if they are wide. And tuck those toes, lift the knees, hover. And then press the hips up, coming in for your down dog. Pedaling here, bend the knees, move the hips. Finding stillness. Let's float the right leg up. Three-legged dog. So it doesn't matter how high you get the leg, just extend. Maybe bend that right knee, stacking the hip. And we're going to come right into our dragon pose, bringing that knee into the chest. It's fine, dragon. Frame that right foot with the palms, slide the left leg back. Take any pressure out of the left knee. Most of the weight is in that right foot and on the top of the left foot. And think about letting the hips drop lower, letting the upper body just relax. Relax the arms, the palms. So you can totally stay right here, or if you want, you can start to bring the palms up to the thigh. So just maybe if you want to try and just see how you feel. So again, letting those hips drop, but don't compress the lower back. So stay nice and long, maybe slightly forward. Think about nice straight line. You don't want to arch too much. Just settle in here. You can always keep those palms grounded. And once you're kind of settled here and the hips are down, think about lifting the chest without compressing that lower back. So again, if this starts to be too much energy or you're losing the point of opening the hips, just keep those palms grounded. This is just a variation option. I'm not going to stay here too long. Use your breath. So if the palms are up on the thigh, gently bring them back, framing that right foot. And from here, let's come into our forward fold, half split. So you can totally stay here if this feels good. Another variation is to come all the way down and then come into a nice forward fold. So this is getting into that hamstring in the back of the right leg. So maybe try and see what feels better for you today. If it feels better to stay up here, lifted. Eventually we're all going to make our way down to the mat. So if you're down, it's okay if the upper back rounds and you're making it more of a passive forward fold. Remember, in our yin practice, you want to do what feels good for your body, for you today. So if you're lifted like I am, let's make our way down. And then from here, I'm going to come into half saddle. So slide that left heel outside the hip. So if you feel a lot of stress or any pain in the knee, then just don't do this. You can extend both legs. So just be really mindful of how you're feeling. So we are going to come into our little quad stretch, or big quad stretch, that big muscle, right? So just make your way into this slowly. Maybe you just stay right here. Maybe you're getting enough of a stretch in that quad right now. If you want to go a little deeper, start to bring the palms behind you. Maybe staying here, lifting the chest, lifting the heart. Or if you want to go a little deeper, start to make your way onto the forearms. Just keep on checking in with how that knee is feeling, how the quad's feeling, the hips. If you want to go all the way down, just make sure that if the knee lifts up, can't get it grounded again, then just don't go that far. Just stay where you are. Maybe float the arms overhead. Just taking a couple of breaths here. going to slowly release. So just moving mindfully, coming out of this pose the same way you went in, nice and slow. If you were on your back, coming to the forearms first, then to the palms. And then let's slide that left heel underneath the left hip. Bend the right knee. We're going to come back into dragon. Slide that left leg back. From here, so just be really gentle here. We're going to come into another quad stretch. So grounding the left palm. And again, if you can't do this, it's fine. Just do whatever you can do. Gently start to bend that left knee. An option to reach around, grabbing for the top of the left foot. So try not to let the hips come back. You want to keep those hips down. So this is pretty intense. So breathe through it, don't force it. Think about opening the chest to the sky. If something doesn't feel right, just make any little adjustments you need to. But this is pretty intense for me, especially in the front of the hip, the front of the quad. So that's enough for me. Coming back to the top of my mat. Let's tuck the left toes. Let's step back to our plank pose and then downward facing dog. And pedal those heels. If you want to flow through a chaturanga, if that feels good, you probably feel a little lopsided. So let's balance the body. Let's float that left leg up for our three-legged dog. Square the hips and shoulders first. Flex that left foot. And then bend the left knee. Open it up. Let that left foot hang. Draw the left knee into the chest. Stepping through for dragon. Other side. So we're going to just repeat that sequence on this side. So allow that right leg to slide back. Let the upper body relax. Bring your focus onto the hips, that whole area, the lower back. Take the weight out of the palms, the arms. And just breathe here. Come back to your breath. Turn inward. Really connect with your body. And if you're not really feeling great, if you're feeling it really tight and everything just doesn't feel good, just breathe. Bring your focus to the breath. Breathe through it. Knowing that you're doing something good for your body. Your body's going to feel better after you move through this. So option to stay right here, or if you want, bring those palms up to the thigh right above the knee. Again, don't compress in the lower back. So this is optional. You don't have to do this. Let those hips drop. Don't have pressure. You probably naturally will have pressure in that right knee, but you don't want to have a lot of weight in that right knee. Once you feel pretty good here, think about lifting the chest, maybe gazing up. Keep the shoulders relaxed. A lot of times when things get difficult, we hold our breath, so try to avoid doing that. Keep breathing. And if you have the palms on the thigh, let's bring them back down, frame that left foot. Coming in for our half split, our forward fold. So shift those hips back. Square those hips. So hold here, or if you feel more comfortable, bring your seat all the way down, just taking a forward fold. So same thing basically. Feel that left back of the leg, hamstring lengthening. Keep the knee soft, don't lock out the knee. Relax the shoulders, the neck, the upper body. And then if you're lifted like I am, let's slowly make our way down, all the way down. Coming into that deeper quad stretch, slide that right heel outside the right hip. Maybe move yourself forward to give space to ease back a little bit. So again, feel both those sits bones grounding, nice and tall but relaxed at the same time. And check in with that right quad. See how you're feeling, the right knee. You shouldn't have any pain here. If you do, totally just come out of it gently and slowly. Maybe take the palms behind you. And check in again, see how this is feeling. And keep going if you feel pretty good here. Coming down onto the forearms next. And then eventually, if you can, all the way down. Maybe float the arms overhead, taking the hands to opposite elbows and grounding those shoulders. If that's too much, just do what you can do. And just breathing here. slowly start to make our way out the same way we came in. First, coming up onto those forearms, holding here, then the palms. And then slide that right heel underneath the right hip, bend the left knee, find your way back to dragon, low lunge, slide the right leg back. And from here, going for that deeper quad stretch if you'd like. So grounding the right palm, start to gently bend that right knee. And maybe this is all you do today. Just think about getting that heel closer to that quad. Or reach around with that left arm, taking the palm outside and to the top of that right foot. Think about keeping the hips down. So my hips automatically came forward and up. It's a lot harder if you keep those hips down. Pretty intense quad stretch, hip flexor. Spiral the shoulder open. Breathe through it. And then gently release. Come back to center. And tucking the right toes. Step to plank, down dog, or flow it out, however you'd like. Breathe. Everything we're doing is great for flexibility, hips, back, hamstrings, quads. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to let those knees drop. Come back into your extended child's pose for a moment. So we're going to come into a second set of the upper body. So we're kind of moving a little bit faster, not holding as long as usual. So from here, second set of melting heart. So stacking the hips over the knees. So you can repeat what you did earlier, maybe just see if you feel any different. Or maybe think about this time, instead of grounding the forehead, maybe this time lower the chin towards the mat. So that's going to be a lot more intense. Maybe just give it a try and see how you feel. So you're lowering your chin, keeping your gaze towards the top of the mat. And if this puts any stress or discomfort in the neck, then just ground your forehead. Don't force it. It's not about the neck here, it's more about the shoulders, the chest, the upper back. Think about letting that chest melt closer to the ground. Taking 2 more deep breaths. Deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. Inhale. And exhale. And Slowly, let's release, lowering the forearms, slide onto the belly. We're going to come back into our Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, the legs are wider. Elbows underneath the shoulders, or you can come into seal pose for your second set. So option for Sphinx if you want to come into Sphinx pose again. Relaxing the upper body. Or if you're coming in for seal pose, just transition from Sphinx, lifting the elbows, the forearms up. Just notice how you feel in the back. Relax the shoulders. Seal, slowly make your way into Sphinx pose. Taking a couple of breaths here. And let's release, lowering the chest. Slide the palms outside the chest, pressing out. Let the hips come all the way back. Extended child's pose, stretch it out. Allow the arms to come alongside the body, coming into child's pose. Let those shoulders round, shoulders drop forward. Inhale, let's come up to a seated position. And from here, I'm going to come into a straddle. So just turning to the side of your mat. Let's take the legs wide. So from here, let's flex and point the feet a little bit, just kind of loosening everything up. Feel those sits bones ground. So if you're more comfortable, if you want to turn to the long side of your mat, everybody's forward. It's up to you, but I don't know. You might want the cushioning underneath your legs or your feet. However you feel comfortable. So feeling those sits bones ground, we're just going to come into a gentle lateral stretch first. Take it over to the right or whatever side. And think about opening the chest to the sky. So you don't want to cave this way. You want to open up. Feel that left hip grounding. Maybe gaze up to that left palm. Little by little, maybe getting closer to that right leg, reaching for that right foot. Inhale, come back through center. Let's take it over to the left, the other side. Right arm floats over. Open up the chest to the sky. Feel that right hip ground. Inhale up, come back through center. Now turn your torso facing that right leg, and gently we're gonna fold forward. And however you want to fold is fine. Just be gentle here. Drawing that chest towards that right leg. Slowly start to roll up. Come back through center and then turn the torso facing the left leg this time. Inhale, exhale, fold. Gently walk the arms, palms. Try to keep those sits bones grounded. Little by little, the chest gets closer to that thigh. And slowly start to make your way back to center. And from here, let's inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, float them down. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to start to come into the center fold. So just walking those palms, gently lowering the chest. Maybe the forearms, maybe not. Try to keep the knees facing the sky, toes facing the sky. A lot of times we'll tend to cave. And slowly start to make your way back through center. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale up. Exhale over to the right. One more time, just float over there. Inhale, pass through center, take it over to the left. Inhale up, back through center. Then bring the legs towards the top of your mat. Bend. Let's just make our way onto our backs. So take those palms behind the thighs, roll through the spine, navel to the spine, roll all. Let those feet float up off the ground, knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug here. And then relax. Ground. Nice long neck. Taking the palms. Let's take some circles here, massaging the lower back and the hips. Making small circles and then gradually making a bigger circle. And then just take it in the opposite direction. Come back to center. Extend both legs up to the sky. And pointing and flexing the feet. And close the eyes. Bend the knees, let the feet float down. Coming into a bridge prep. And just taking those feet hips width. Let the knees gaze over to the left. Coming into a recliner. Inhale, take to the left, gaze over to the right. And come back through center. And just bring the soles of the feet together, creating that diamond shape with the legs. Sapta, Baddha Konasana, bend the elbows, palms to the sky. Really open here. Feel your body grounding into the earth. body, relaxing. Mind present. Whenever you're ready, Asana, extending the legs, opening the arms. Feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you'd like, gaining all the wonderful. If you'd like to join me in closing out your practice slowly, bring some movement into the body, moving the fingers, hands, the feet. Inhale. Your head and bend the knees, gently making your way onto your side. And just take some breaths here. When you're ready, just slowly, maybe keeping the eyes closed, just come back to a comfortable seated position. And sitting up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back. Closing out with our 3 cleansing breaths. Big inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your beautiful practice. And thank yourself for taking care of your health, your well-being, starting your day in a positive way. Continue to make those positive and healthy decisions as you go through the rest of your day and the days ahead. Always being good to yourself, kind, gentle, patient. May there always be peace in your heart, peace in your words, and peace in your mind. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed your journey today. If you would like to see new classes, please remember to subscribe, like, visit our website at kavelalife.com, become a member on our Patreon account. By becoming a member, it allows us to create new classes. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Kavela Life. Thank you so much